When the desert meets the immense Atlantic Ocean, the most relentless ecosystem in the world opens up. Every creature here exists not to showcase its beauty, but to endlessly fight. The wind carries a red dust that mixes with the stealthy footsteps of silent predators. This is Namibia, a land where time and wind have eroded every bright red sand dune. The winds from the cold Atlantic Ocean blow in, increasing the challenge of existence. Here, survival is a sacred journey where every creature is, without exception, a warrior. Welcome to today's video. Let us know in the comments where you are watching us from. Wild Namibia, the endless war among the untamed sands. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to give us more motivation to keep creating quality content. Don't forget to leave a comment below telling us what you thought of the video and let us know where you're watching from so we can chat together. May Mother Nature bless everyone with good health. Peace and love for nature. Let's begin. No matter how arid and fierce it is, nature still hides the silent gifts that heaven bestows upon souls who know how to be patient and adapt. This is demonstrated through the strong survival journey written by the resilient creatures of Namibia. This desert is the battlefield for the cheetah species. They choose their target, sneak up, and launch into a full-speed chase with their prey. The scorching sun makes them exhaust easily. The cheetah finds itself between two choices: either risk a little more to catch the prey, or give it up. Night falls, and leopards lurk on the high 98, 4-foot cliffs, waiting for an unsuspecting prey to pass by. Meanwhile, the powerful lions are looking for every possible way to fill their hungry stomachs. They are willing to fight to snatch food from any other predator, because in this place, the only morality is that the strong live while the weak fade into the dust. Namibia, with a vast area of 317,762 square miles, is a land with a diverse landscape and an immensely rich history. Namibia's Nama group stands out for its fossils from the Ediacaran period, about 600 million years ago, which provide important evidence of the early appearance of multicellular life on Earth. This place contains many valuable fossils, including the Mesosaurus fossil from the Permian period. They are not just fossilized skeletons, but valuable pieces that help humanity decipher the eternal question, where do we come from? Have you ever imagined that the place you walk through was once home to ancient creatures? This central region and the Kalahari Desert to the east bear the traces of over 550 million years of geological changes. Since the Precambrian period, about 550 million years ago, volcanic and tectonic processes have created a diversity of terrains and minerals. Thanks to this, Namibia has become a hotspot for geologists and paleontologists. Stretching for 1,180 miles along the coast of Namibia lies the Namib Desert, where wild beauty and harshness intertwine. The fairy circles, enigmatic bare circles on the ground, surrounded by a carpet of grass, raise the question of a strange existence. They appear in the arid desert like traces of life trying to reorganize itself. This phenomenon is explained by water stress among the grass species, forcing them to self-organize to optimize access to scarce water sources. For over 55 million years, the Namib Desert, one of the oldest deserts in the world, is like an eternal witness. It has witnessed the ceaseless shifting of sand and wind, the red sand dunes over 1,148 feet high are like gigantic natural walls that move endlessly under the power of nature. The landscape changes every day, but the harshness remains. In the Sossusvlei Valley and Deadvlei, or Death Valley, the trunks of thorny acacia trees, dead for over 900 years, still stand like fossilized monks, witnesses to the changing of life and death. In the middle of the arid Namib Desert, where desert winds sweep over the high sand dunes, the gemsbok takes firm steps. This antelope species has a fairly large body, weighing up to 441 pounds and standing nearly 3.9 feet tall at the shoulder. They have evolved over millions of years to cope with the harshest conditions of the hot, sandy desert. Their long horns, nearly 3.9 feet long, straight and sharp as swords, are a powerful defense weapon that helps this species survive bloodthirsty enemies. The Namib Desert, with sparse rainfall of only a few inches a year, creates a challenging living environment. However, the gemsbok has evolved to cope with the scorching heat with the ability to withstand body temperatures of up to 113 degrees Fahrenheit without sweating. This helps them save water, an invaluable resource here. When the drought months stretch out, the gemsbok can still survive for weeks without drinking, thanks to the moisture they obtain from dry grasses and the stems of succulent plants. The gemsbok's activity is concentrated mainly in the early morning and late afternoon, when the temperature is cooler. On harsh days, they migrate across the arid desert regions, looking for the grass that grows from the rare rains. The gemsbok's circulatory system helps them protect their brain from high temperatures, maintaining life even when the surrounding environment becomes unbearable. Meanwhile, the springbok has other methods to survive in this place of golden sand that stretches under the scorching sun. They are 27.6 to 33.5 inches tall and weigh 66.1 to 99.2 pounds. They have a characteristic coat that combines brown, white, and black. When moving, a special stripe of hair on their back can bristle like a flag, alerting their peers to a danger or simply showing their excited mood. The springbok is a living testament to the less is more philosophy with little water and few needs, yet they live healthy and happily. They do not need to drink water for many weeks, sometimes months. They survive by absorbing moisture from the dry grasses and succulent plants that grow scattered throughout the desert. At night, when the air humidity increases, they wander in search of food, optimizing the water-retaining capacity of the food they consume. The springbok's name comes from its high-jumping behavior, known as pronking. They can jump up to 6.6 feet high with all four legs stiff and straight, creating a strong and neat image. This action is not only a reaction to a threat, but also shows the vitality and cohesion of the herd. Depending on the season, the springbok herd moves through different areas. When the rain arrives, the meadow turns green, signaling the start of the breeding season. The herd changes its residence, looking for fresh meadows after the rare rains. Desert elephants are not a separate species, but belong to the African savanna elephant species that have lived and adapted to the extreme living conditions of the desert. This elephant population is special and rare, with only about 150 individuals alive, mainly in the Kunene and Erongo regions in northwestern Namibia. They face many challenges, from the disappearance of their habitat to the threats of climate change and conflict with humans. The low reproduction rate makes the population even more vulnerable to these changes. Unlike their savanna relatives, desert elephants are smaller in size, with longer legs and large feet to easily move across sand dunes without sinking. These characteristics allow them to travel long distances sometimes tens to hundreds of miles, to find water and food in a barren world. Dry riverbeds like the Ugab and the Huab are their source of life, where they dig for groundwater, bringing life not only to themselves, but also to many other desert animals. They consume any type of plant they can find, from shrubs and trees to succulent plants like the thorny acacia and mopane. In times of scarcity, they can strip tree bark to access the nutritious inner part. To avoid the scorching heat of the day, they usually forage at night or when it is cooler. However, their most special characteristic is their ability to withstand water scarcity. While savanna elephant species need to drink water daily, desert elephants can live up to 5 days without a drop of water. The ability to store water and take advantage of plant moisture helps them maintain life in the arid desert environment. The arid Namib Desert, where the sandy wind and scorching heat cover everything, is also home to meerkats, small but very resilient creatures. This endemic species is widely distributed in Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa. In Namibia, they mainly live in dry lands like Damaraland and along dry riverbeds, where living conditions are always challenging. With a small body only 17.7 to 21.7 inches long and weighing less than 2.2 pounds, meerkats easily blend in with the desert landscape. They're paying one when I... The black circle around their eyes not only helps reduce glare, but also increases their ability to see far away in bright light conditions. The life of meerkats relies heavily on community unity. They live in large social groups, numbering up to 50 individuals. The high spirit of cooperation is clearly manifested in daily activities, from hunting and protecting the territory to caring for the young. While some members go out to find food, others stand guard, warning of danger with characteristic sounds. This tight social system is the survival factor that helps them withstand threats from enemies like birds of prey. Meerkats are omnivores. They eat insects like beetles and centipedes, and even small lizards. To survive in the arid environment, they look for succulent plants to absorb moisture. This ability helps them overcome periods of water scarcity, something not all species can do. Burrows dug into the arid sand are the meerkat's refuge. Here, the temperature is stable, allowing them to avoid the heat of the day and keep warm during cold nights. When dusk falls, or early in the morning, they emerge from the burrow, beginning their hunting journey in the quiet, sandy fields. That is the daily rhythm of meerkats amidst the harshness of nature. At the end of the world, where the burning sand of the Namib Desert meets the cold of the ocean, there is a mysterious land called the Skeleton Coast, the land of white bones. Beneath layers of sand that seemingly stretch endlessly, this place is not only a dead land, but also an intersection of fierce life. The Benguela Current brings the cold breath of the South Pole, making this coast a special place. It blows dense fogs like a protective blanket covering the arid land, extending up to 31.1 miles inland. The fog becomes a valuable source of water, sustaining the lives of plants and animals that have adapted to the harsh conditions. This spectacle is like a perfect opposition, with the fragile fog being the main source of life in a land where rainfall can be counted on the fingers of one hand. Stretching along the Skeleton Coast, Cape Fur seal colonies have lived and thrived in the harsh marine environment that few species can endure. They live in large colonies of up to 300,000 members. The massive males, weighing up to 772 pounds, dominate the coast, while the smaller females, only 88 to 176 pounds, have the task of caring for the pups in the harshness of nature. The existence of Cape Fur seals depends on the Benguela Current, the main source of life for the entire population. Thanks to the cold Benguela Current, these fur seal species have an abundant food source such as fish, squid, and crustaceans. Cape Fur seals can dive to depths of up to 656 feet and hold their breath for nearly 8 minutes, hunting beneath the ocean as skilled hunters. Each deep dive is a life or death journey into the heart of the sea, where they must face dangerous predators like great white sharks. On land, the life of Cape Fur seals is no less stressful. The breeding season turns the coast into a battlefield between fierce males, each fiercely defending its territory. Meanwhile, the pups must face the threat of brown hyenas, predators that take advantage of the fur seals going out to sea to hunt to attack the young. According to the journal Marine Biology, the mortality rate of fur seal pups has increased due to attacks from this hyena species, creating a dramatic cycle of survival on the Skeleton Coast. The brown hyena, also known as the strandwolf, exists silently in the arid land along the coast. In a place where the sandy wind blows endlessly and food is scarce, this rare hyena species, the rarest in the world, has learned its own way to survive. With its long, dark brown fur, large ears and gaunt appearance, the brown hyena is different. They stand about 30 inches tall and weigh 75 to 99.2 pounds, but in that seemingly small size hides a fearsome strength. The harsh environment of the Skeleton Coast region is not easy for any species. Under the silent night, the brown hyena can travel up to 31.1 miles to find food. Their silent steps over the hot sand dunes are only guided by a keen sense of smell, demonstrating the extraordinary endurance of this species. However, the harsh conditions also leave deep marks on them. Many individuals have become partially or totally blind due to the sand constantly blowing into their eyes, yet they still survive, overcoming all obstacles. They attack Cape Fur seal pups. These young and weak creatures become an important source of nutrition to sustain life. Climate change and habitat loss have pushed them to the near-threatened list on the Red List. However, projects like the Skeleton Coast Brown Hyena Project are working to monitor and conserve this species, ensuring they continue to live in their wild natural environment. The Skeleton Coast region is also home to black-backed jackals, which often prowl the area. Their silver-black coat, extending from their shoulders to their tail, stands out against the golden sand and grey pebbles of the Namibian coast. Weighing 13.2 to 28.7 pounds and standing 15 to 18.9 inches tall, black-backed jackals are not large, but their agility and intelligence make them formidable opportunistic predators. The life of this jackal species is a race for survival. On the Skeleton Coast, they target seal colonies, especially weak pups or abandoned carcasses, taking advantage of all available food sources, from fresh meat and insects to fruits and carrion. Black-backed jackals demonstrate their flexibility and endurance. They are not only predators, but also experts at scavenging carcasses, helping to maintain the balance of the ecosystem of this coast. But not only on the coast, jackals also travel everywhere in search of food sources. On long, cold nights, they can travel up to 31.1 miles to find their next meal. Their silent steps glide over sand and rocks, looking for traces of life amidst the desolate land. In the desolate coastal region of the Skeleton Coast, the cold Benguela Current brings with it an abundant food source from the ocean depths. It is the sustenance of seabirds. Against the white sand and steep, rocky shores of the Skeleton Coast, the African oystercatcher stands out with its jet black plumage. Its orange-red beak and legs are like flashes of light in the barren landscape, reflecting a long connection to the harsh marine ecosystem. This bird has existed here for thousands of years, becoming an indispensable part of Namibia's coastal ecosystem. They hunt primarily during low tide, searching for mussels, oysters, and marine worms with their sharp beak. These invertebrates are expertly exploited, demonstrating the skilled hunting abilities the African oystercatcher has perfected over time. This coastal region is not only a hunting ground, but also the home of the African oystercatcher. During the breeding season, from September to April, bird pairs usually nest on sandy beaches or rocky shores near the water's edge. But that place hides dangers. Storms, large waves, and predators always threaten eggs and chicks. Each pair lays only 1 to 3 eggs, and the survival rate is very low. On average, only 1 chick survives every 4 years. Although they have a limited range of movement of only about 8.7 miles around the nest, the young can migrate further up to nearly 1,243 miles before returning to the area where they were born after several years. These distant migrations are like a journey back to the roots, helping them maintain balance in the population. The Skeleton Coast region of Namibia also witnesses the strong but fragile survival of the Cape gannet. The flat rocks of Mercury, Ichabod, and Possession Islands become a refuge for crowded bird colonies. Here, thousands of nests are built close together to minimize the risk of attack by enemies. The breeding season of the Cape gannet takes place in winter. During this time, the mother incubates the eggs for about 42 days before the chicks hatch. After 90 to 105 days, the chicks will leave the nest and begin a harsh journey on the high seas. The Cape gannet is a famous diving bird with special skills. From high above, they dive to the water surface at speeds of up to 62.1 miles per hour, piercing the deep blue sea to catch sardines and anchovies, their main food source. This skill is aided by their broad wings, which help them fly hundreds of miles each day in search of food sources far from the coast. These flocks of birds can fly up to 124.3 miles out into the ocean, gliding on wind currents and using a perfect combination of flying and gliding to save energy during the journey. But that strength cannot overcome the decline in food sources due to overfishing and changes in the marine ecosystem. In less than 50 years, from the 1950s to the 2000s, the number of Cape gannets in Namibia plummeted from 114,600 breeding pairs to just 18,200, representing an 84% decline. Precisely, this decline has pushed this strong bird onto the endangered list of the Red List since 2017. The southwestern coastal region of Africa, along the desolate Skeleton Coast, is an ideal breeding ground for the Cape cormorant. Rocky shores and remote islands act as natural fortresses. There, large colonies of cormorants nest together, taking advantage of the safety of the group to deal with the risks of enemies in a hostile environment. Adult birds measure between 29.9 and 33.9 inches long, with jet black plumage that gleams with a bluish tint in the sun, creating a mysterious and attractive image amidst the vast landscape. The hunting skills of the Cape cormorant have been perfected and optimized over time. They dive into the sea, plunging into the cold waters with agile speed and astonishing precision to hunt small schools of fish like sardines and anchovies, their main source of nutrition. Their deep dives demonstrate extraordinary survival ability in a challenging environment. However, even those perfect skills cannot prevent the impact of external factors. The Cape cormorant faces a severe decline in its food sources, a consequence of the overexploitation of the fish species they depend on. According to the Red List, the Cape cormorant has now been classified in the endangered group, marking the significant decline of this species in recent decades. Conservation efforts, focused on habitat protection and fishing exploitation control, have become the only key to saving this bird from the brink of extinction. The Skeleton Coast is also graced by the presence of the African penguin. It is Africa's only penguin species, living in crowded colonies on coastal islands between Namibia and South Africa. Its population is estimated at about 5,300 pairs in Namibia and 13,200 pairs in South Africa. These birds measure between 23.6 and 28 inches tall and weigh 4.9 to 7.7 pounds. Their back is jet black and their belly pure white, with a black stripe crossing their chest, creating a unique, contrasting beauty between the darkness and the light of the ocean. The black stripes and spots on their belly are never the same between two individuals, like human fingerprints, making each bird unique. The African penguin relies primarily on a food source of sardines and anchovies. But when this food source is depleted, they switch to hunting gobies to survive. The deep dives and the group coordination ability of this bird are the key that helps them find food in the heart of the sea. However, increased shipping traffic has disrupted this hunting habit, making it difficult for them to maintain the flock. Since the early 20th century, the number of African penguins has dropped by 95%, an alarming decline. Major threats include overfishing, oil pollution from ships, and habitat change due to climate change. This bird is currently on the red list, classified in the endangered group, and conservation efforts are becoming increasingly urgent. In the middle of the central plateau of Namibia, the Irindi Private Game Reserve stretches over 174,750 acres of vibrant painting of nature. The landscape here constantly changes, from vast savannas to lush meadows and then to rugged rocky hills. Irindi is not just a reserve, but a story of the harmony between earth, sky, and nature. At the center of this ecosystem are the natural waterholes. When the dry season arrives, these waterholes become a survival point for a large number of animal species. This is home to over 60 mammal species and 300 bird species. In particular, the presence of 5 large predator species with prominent names such as the lion, the leopard, the rhinoceros, the elephant, and the Cape buffalo that walk silently through this land brings a tense yet magnificent atmosphere. If you had the chance to set foot in Irindi, which of these big 5 predator species would you want to meet first? Share in the comments section. Within the wild fields of the Irindi Reserve, the African wild dog stands out with its colourful coat, living in an environment full of challenges. The African wild dog is widely distributed throughout the sub-Saharan region, especially in the desert and dry grassland areas of Namibia, and Irindi is one of the most prominent wild dog conservation areas. Their coat, with spots of black, white, yellow, and brown, intertwined like pieces of art, makes them easy to recognize in the natural world. But behind that beauty lies a ceaseless struggle for survival. This species is not only one of the predators with amazing skills, but also possesses an extremely complex social system. The pack structure of this species is amazing, with each pack capable of having 10 to 15 individuals and sometimes up to 40. Only the alpha pair breeds, while the other members share the task of raising the pups and even regurgitate food to feed them, a rare behavior in other species. The close connection between pack members constitutes the strength of this species, helping them hunt successfully with a rate of up to 80%, surpassing many other predator species such as lions or leopards. When hunting, African wild dogs never act alone. They hunt tactically in a pack, at speeds of up to 43.5 miles per hour, chasing and surrounding the prey from multiple sides. This creates dramatic chases, where the prey becomes exhausted in the chaos caused by the absolute coordination of the group. However, their life is not limited to successful hunts. The existence of this species faces many challenges. The African wild dog is currently classified as endangered on the red list, with only about 6,600 adult individuals remaining in the world. Factors such as habitat loss, conflict with humans, and illegal hunting are pushing them to the brink of extinction. The vast space, with its bushes and arid grasslands of the Irindi Reserve, is an ideal environment for leopard hunts. They are one of Africa's master predators, with an amazing ability to adapt. From dense jungles to arid deserts, this big cat has proven its survival strength over thousands of years of history. In Irindi, the leopard is a key predator, keeping populations of ungulates like kudus and springboks from overdeveloping. Unlike other predator species, leopards do not rely on numbers. They are solitary predators, living off silence and a meticulous observational ability. When the opportunity arises, the leopard suddenly lunges, taking down the prey in the blink of an eye. Weighing 66.1 to 176.4 pounds, the leopard can quickly jump about 19.7 feet in an instant, delivering a fatal blow to the prey. A bite to the neck is the end for the prey, and the leopard will silently drag its catch up a tree to enjoy its spoils. On dark nights, when the temperature drops, leopards become more active. Night is the ideal time to stalk prey, when the darkness hides all their tracks. The harsh environment of Irindi, where rocks and bushes stretch out, becomes the scene of relentless chases. Every step of the leopard on the dry earth carries with it the echo of the struggle for survival. The southwestern black rhinoceros, one of the black rhinoceros subspecies, lives mainly in Namibia, including the Irindi area. This species is able to adapt to semi-arid environments from deserts to dry grasslands. It is one of the rarest animal species, with a current population of about 2,583 individuals, and is classified as near threatened according to the Red List. The black rhinoceros is also a solitary animal species, but it also has social behaviours, especially at waterholes. Males usually have their own territory but are not overly protective, while females usually live with their calves. They weigh 1,763.7 to 2,976.2 pounds and can live up to 50 years. The black rhinoceros stands out for its hooked upper lip, which helps it easily eat tree leaves and small branches. This is a leaf-eating species with a diet that includes shrubs, young branches, and tree leaves. This characteristic helps them survive in areas with scarce food sources. Etosha National Park, covering an area of more than 8,598 square miles, is one of Namibia's most outstanding natural wonders. The landscape here is vast and full of surprises, from vast savanna grasslands and dense mopane forests to arid zones. But the centre of Etosha is the Etosha Pan, a gigantic salt pan of 1,838 square miles. It was once a huge waterhole, but now only remains in the form of a shallow basin, with water only appearing after rare rains. The rainy season brings life to the basin, turning the salt pan into a gathering point for a large number of migratory birds, including flamingos. When the water floods, a whole area of the sky becomes vibrant with the colourfulness of the birds' wings. But when the dry season arrives, the shallow basin returns to its desolate look and only the natural waterholes remain. It is precisely these waterholes that make life in the park manifest itself most strongly. This land is also home to 114 mammal species and over 400 bird species. The dry season, from May to October, becomes the ideal time to observe these spectacular scenes. An entire ecosystem gathers around the waterholes, where all creatures must compete to survive. In Etosha National Park, African savanna elephants are famous for their nickname ghost elephants due to the layer of white dust that covers them after wallowing in the mud of the saltwater holes. This layer of mud not only helps them regulate temperature, but also protects their skin from insects. Etosha elephants are the tallest African savanna elephant species, standing 9.8 to 13.1 feet tall and weighing up to 14,991.4 pounds. Their excellent adaptability to the arid environment has helped them survive the harshest conditions. Elephants live in family groups, led by the oldest female. These groups include females and calves, while adult males usually live alone or in small groups. When the dry season arrives, elephant herds travel dozens of miles to find water and food sources. Sometimes they consume up to 595.2 pounds of food a day, including grass, leaves, and fruits. Currently, this elephant species is classified as endangered on the red list due to poaching for ivory and habitat loss. Thanks to studies using GPS and camera traps, conservationists have been able to track how elephants move and use space in Etosha. This helps them propose measures to protect the species while minimizing conflict between humans and elephants in the area. Under the scorching sun of Etosha National Park, the Angolan giraffe, with its proud appearance, stands in the arid grassland. It is the tallest animal in the world, reaching a height of up to 18 feet. Its pale yellow skin, with large brown spots extending down its legs, creates a majestic yet silent image. This giraffe species is not only a symbol of strength but also of endurance, as it must adapt to the harsh living conditions of Etosha, where the grasslands and arid savanna stretch endlessly. Amidst the arid landscape, the food of this giraffe species comes largely from comifera and acacia trees. They adapt well to this sparsely vegetated environment, foraging early in the morning and late in the afternoon when the temperature drops. The soft branches and leaves they pluck from the tops of tall trees are the source of nutrition that sustains their gigantic bodies of 1,763.7 to 2,601.5 pounds. Giraffe herds move endlessly without establishing a fixed territory. They live in small groups of 5 to 20 individuals, where females and calves survive together. Sometimes, males live alone or in small groups, demonstrating their strength through tense necking fights to compete for the right to mate. The breeding season runs throughout the year. After about 13 to 15 months of gestation, the calf is born, stands up almost immediately, and follows its mother only an hour later, a mandatory act of survival. Meanwhile, on the arid Etosha grassland, lions still maintain their dominance. Here, the majestic silhouette of this powerful predator stands out amidst fields of golden, dry grass and dusty waterholes. Every step they take leaves a footprint in the hard earth, carrying with it the strength and spirit of survival forged over many centuries. Etosha lions possess an imposing size, and males can weigh up to 551.2 pounds. Their bodies are packed with muscles, with sharp claws and strong jaws ready to take down their prey. But what is most special lies in the hunting strategy, which is led by the females. On drought days, when the temperature rises, life in Etosha gradually concentrates around the waterholes. This is also the most favorable time for lions. They don't need to hunt far. They just have to lurk by the waterholes, waiting for herds of antelopes, zebras, or gemsbok to approach to quench their thirst. The dry season becomes the main stage where dramatic battles for survival between prey and predator take place. They stalk their prey in the shadow of the low bushes, their bright yellow eyes blinking, full of calculation. The strategy of the lions in Etosha always requires a lot of patience and skill. Within the pride, the females usually surround the prey in an arc, silently narrowing the encirclement, while other lions hide in the dark, ready to take down the victim. Their running ability is not prolonged, but explosive over short distances, capable of reaching speeds of 49.7 miles per hour in just a few seconds. It is precisely this coordination that makes them the most effective predators of the grassland. Etosha, with its vast landscape of grasslands and arid zones, is one of the last places that preserves the tracks of cheetahs, a species that embodies agility and delicacy. They are the fastest land predators on the planet. However, their numbers have plummeted in the last century, and Etosha has now become one of the most important refuges for this species in Namibia. The cheetah, with its long legs and light body, has been perfectly designed for speed. They can accelerate to 60.3 miles per hour in just a few seconds, turning every chase into a true race for survival. Their body is as flexible as a drawn bow, possessing an elastic spine that helps them make rapid accelerations and sharp turns. But the price of such speed is a lack of endurance. After each run, the cheetah has only 20 to 30 seconds to take down its prey before becoming completely exhausted. Such a hunt requires a lot of energy, so everything depends on precision and patience. In Etosha National Park, cheetahs know very well how to take advantage of the terrain. Tall termite mounds or old tree trunks are not simply hiding places, but observation posts, watchtowers, and also places of invisible communication between individuals of the species. With an effective hunting ability, Etosha cheetahs focus on medium-sized prey, such as springboks and hares. They usually hunt early in the morning or late in the afternoon, when the temperature drops and prey are easier to spot. Their tactic is to stalk from afar, wait until the distance is only 59.1 to 68.9 feet, and then launch themselves like lightning. But no matter how agile they are, cheetahs still have to face great threats from nature and other animals. Larger predators, like lions and hyenas, not only compete for prey, but can also steal the cheetah's spoils. Caution and the use of sophisticated tactics are decisive factors for the survival of this species. The Cunene River region and the Caprivi Strip are valuable lifelines in the midst of Namibia's harsh environment. The Cunene River originates in Angola, flows across the border, and then empties into the Atlantic Ocean. In the heart of this semi-arid region, the river acts as a bloodstream flowing through the arid desert, bringing life to countless species. Along the Cunene River region and the Caprivi Strip in Namibia, the African jacana walks softly over the surface, as if walking on floating leaves. Its long legs and thin toes help it maintain perfect balance on the huge water lily leaves. This bird is not only beautiful, but also special because of its rare reproductive behavior, polyandry. In the world of the African jacana, the female is the one who mates with several males. Then she hands over to them the responsibility of incubating the eggs and caring for the young. This makes the males dedicated fathers who build nests with floating plants and protect the newly hatched chicks in the challenging environment of the flooded region. The African jacana feeds on small organisms such as insects, crustaceans, and mollusks. They walk along the floating leaves, looking for food on the water's surface. Sometimes they even catch insects on the backs of larger animals like buffaloes or hippos, a characteristic image of the flooded ecosystem. When faced with danger, the African jacana uses its ability to submerge itself in the water to escape, leaving only the tip of its beak above to breathe. This flexibility and adaptability have helped it survive environmental changes, especially in the aquatic zones that vary with the seasons in the Cunene River and the Caprivi Strip. The breeding season is the time when the great egret arrives. Large flocks of egrets congregate in breeding communities within the wooded areas surrounding the Cunene River and the Caprivi Strip. The yellow beak gradually turns a bright green, and the long, soft tail feathers develop to attract a mate. Their nests are built in bushes near the water, and it is there that both the male and female incubate the eggs and raise the chicks. Although they are a solitary species most of the time, during the breeding months they come together, forming large bird communities amidst the wild nature. The great egret, with its pure white plumage, stands motionless under the sun. Its long, thin legs seem to blend with the flooded landscape. Its firm black legs help it move easily over the floating vegetation carpet, while its sharp eyes follow every movement on the water's surface. Standing up to 35.4 inches tall, with a wingspan of nearly 4.9 feet, the great egret is not only a symbol of elegance, but also a skilled predator. They remain motionless, waiting for unsuspecting prey like small fish, frogs, or insects. When the opportunity arises, their long, sharp beak darts into the water, quickly catching the prey, a scene that resembles a white arrow piercing the calm water's surface. The marabou stork, a massive bird, standing up to 4.9 feet tall with a wingspan of nearly 9.5 feet, also arrives at the Cunene River and the Caprivi Strip in Namibia. With its bare, featherless neck, large black wings, and slow gait, the marabou stork sports a solemn and cold appearance, which is why many people call it the undertaker bird. Like the great egret, the breeding season turns the marabou stork into a communal species. It builds its nest in tall trees near the water, gathering in large flocks along with other stork and heron species. This is a rare time when they abandon their solitary lifestyle and join the busy community to breed and raise their chicks. Neither as elegant as the white egret, nor as colourful as flamingos, they are the guardians between life and death, present where one life ends to begin another cycle of reincarnation. Whenever there is an animal carcass, the marabou stork appears alongside vultures and other bird species, competing for every piece of leftover meat. Its strong, long beak helps it easily tear flesh from carcasses, an action that clearly demonstrates its harsh survival instinct. However, the marabou stork does not rely exclusively on carrion. They are skilled hunters in shallow waters, remaining silent, waiting for a fish, frog, or small animal to pass by. With a lightning-fast strike, their sharp beak plunges swiftly to end the hunt in an instant. The Cunene River and the Caprivi Strip in Namibia are home to the roan antelope, a striking herbivore with a reddish-brown coat and long ears. Its coloration contrasts with the distinctive black and white markings on its face, making them an unmistakable figure on the African savanna. The curved horns possessed by both males and females are a symbol of strength and endurance, although the male's horns are longer, giving him an advantage in power struggles. The roan antelope does not have a fixed territory. They usually move in herds of 5 to 15 individuals, and sometimes up to 35 animals. The oldest male usually plays the role of leader, protecting the herd from any threat. Males that lack a dominant position separate to form bachelor herds. When competing for control of the herd, males use their horns to to fight in fierce battles, although they rarely prove fatal. Flooded areas, with their abundant water sources, are always an ideal paradise for the African buffalo. The lush green grasslands, stretching as far as earth and sky meet, attract thousands of buffaloes in every rainy season. Buffaloes, with their immense size, curved horns, and shiny black skin, create a majestic and wild image. Huge herds can be made up of several thousand individuals, moving silently along the rivers, exhibiting the strength of one of Africa's largest mammals. The buffalo's body length can reach up to 10.8 feet, and its weight can range from 925.9 to 1,896 pounds. Their enormous horns are not only a powerful weapon in battles for dominance, but also a solid shield that protects their head from attacks. This imposing appearance gives the buffalo a power that very few predators dare to face directly, including fearsome animals such as lions and hyenas. In the Caprivi Strip, buffaloes rely not only on the grasslands, but also on the abundant water of the rivers. Every season, they migrate following the current, crossing fertile meadows in search of food. They are herbivores that consume a large amount of grass every day to maintain their health and energy. Their presence plays a vital role in the ecosystem, keeping the grass carpet in perfect balance. The large population of hippopotamuses, semi-aquatic mammals characteristic of the Cunene River region and the Caprivi Strip, weighing 2,204.6 to 4,409.2 pounds and with an average height of 4.3 to 4.6 feet, solidifies the hippopotamus as one of the largest animals in Africa. Their thick, hairless skin helps protect them from the relentless sun, a fundamental factor in surviving in such a harsh environment. Hippos live in herds of 10 to 20 individuals, and sometimes even more. Adult males usually occupy a certain area in the water and defend it from other males, especially during the mating season. Battles between males to defend their territory can be extremely fierce, using their immense tusks to attack opponents. Hippos spend most of the day submerged in water, where they can keep their body temperature stable. But at night they come ashore, walking miles away from water sources in search of food. With a diet based fundamentally on grass, every night an adult individual can consume up to 88.2 pounds of grass. A 2024 study conducted by Conservation of Namibia indicates that hippos play a fundamental ecological role in maintaining natural waterways, which in turn benefits fish and other aquatic organisms. Their movement and activity not only help maintain the food source, but actively shape the ecosystem of the Cunene River region. Namibia, with its vast expanse of deserts and arid grasslands, is an undisputed symbol of resilience. But as temperatures rise, the creatures that inhabit it must face a series of harsh challenges. Climate change is one of the most dangerous factors, especially due to prolonged droughts. According to a 2023 report by the Namibian Ministry of Environment, this is one of the countries most affected by climate change, recording a 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit increase in average temperature over the last 50 years. Prolonged droughts that lead to the depletion of water reserves have reduced food sources, forcing species like elephants, buffaloes, and antelopes to travel further to find water and food, increasing competition among them. On their journey in search of sustenance, wildlife not only faces a hostile nature, but must also fight against the fragmentation of their habitat. Agricultural expansion and urbanization have cut off the movement corridors of countless species. According to data from the Nature Foundation of Namibia in 2024, more than 30% of natural land has been converted into farms or residential areas. This causes rhinos and cheetahs to gradually lose their habitat, preventing them from moving freely and forcing them to crowd into isolated reserves. Furthermore, poaching remains a real nightmare for many species. The Namibian government has implemented many strong measures to combat poaching, such as increasing surveillance and using GPS tracking technology. However, the illegal trade in elephant ivory and rhino horns continues to thrive on the international black market. 2024 statistics from the International Union for Conservation of Nature show that, in Namibia alone, some 50 rhinos are poached each year. Finally, Namibia's biodiversity is in serious decline. Grassland and wetland areas are hard hit by human activities. Many species of water birds, such as the African jacana and the great egret, are also facing an alarming decline in their numbers as their habitat disappears. The challenges of nature and humanity, like a dark shadow looming over, are threatening the survival journey of wild species in Namibia. These creatures not only have to fight against a harsh environment, but they also have to face the impending threats of human development. And as rivers like the Cunene and the flooded areas of Caprivi continue to shrink, a much more pressing question arises. Will they be able to continue sustaining life in an increasingly harsh environment? How can we ensure that conservation is not just a slogan recited in an air-conditioned room, but becomes a true coexistence between humanity and wild nature? Faced with this worrying situation, multiple conservation efforts are underway. Namibia is a pioneer country in community-based conservation, with over 43% of its land managed by local groups in the form of conservancies. This program encourages people to actively participate in wildlife protection and to share the benefits generated by ecotourism. Thanks to these initiatives, populations of species such as elephants and lions have increased significantly in the reserves. In addition, Namibia has also implemented the Lion Ranger program since 2018. This is a training program for local rangers focused on monitoring lions using early warning technology to detect their movements, which helps minimize conflicts. Building predator-proof kraals has also helped effectively protect livestock at night. One of the biggest efforts is the firm protection of vital ecological zones, such as the Caprivi Strip and the Cunene River. Conservation programs in these areas focus on habitat restoration and mitigating the impacts of climate change, thereby creating a safe space for wildlife to live. Amidst these formidable efforts, success in the remarkable recovery of the elephant population, especially in the Cunene region and northern reserves, proves to be the most representative example. Once on the brink of extinction in the 1980s due to poaching and war, elephants almost completely disappeared from this area. However, thanks to the relentless efforts of the community-based conservation program, elephant numbers have risen again. The community-based natural resource management program has allowed local residents not only to protect the animals, but also to gain direct benefits from ecotourism. This makes conservation a fundamental part of a sustainable economy, helping the community recognize the immense value of protecting wildlife. Measures such as building fences to protect crops, implementing early warning systems, and developing educational programs have greatly contributed to reducing conflict between humans and elephants. By 2023, an estimated 24,000 elephants were thought to inhabit Namibia. Each of us can contribute to wildlife conservation and the constant protection of their fragile habitats. Let's start with simple actions like reducing plastic waste, saving water, and supporting the use of sustainable products. Sharing information about endangered animal species and the critical state of their environment on social media is vital to raising public awareness. Your small action today could be the key to the survival of rare animal species and the salvation of these fragile ecosystems. If you have ever witnessed the harsh red sand dunes of Namibia, don't hesitate to share your fascinating experiences in the comments. Without a doubt, It will be a source of inspiration and motivation for the constant conservation efforts of nature and rare animals, while helping to preserve these ecosystems for future generations. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to join us on our upcoming magical adventures.